Hey, Brent from Brent's Roundabout, checking in for the third week, or going into the third week of training for my 100-mile race, 100 miler, and kind of a bummer of an update, but I took a fall this week. Happened just, what's today? Today is Thursday, and it happened back on Monday, actually. It was on my run, and if I share out my screen real quick, you can see what's going on with my training plan, minimize my notes. So the way my week looks is I've got Friday is my rest day, Saturday is my easy run, Sunday is currently nothing at the moment. I work in training or cross training, and then eventually that'll be my fifth day of running. Monday is a running with right now, just doing some form and some drills. Eventually that'll be my speed work day and also hill work day. Tuesday's resistance training. Eventually they'll start working in specifically cross training as well. Wednesday, long run. Thursday, easier. Right now it's my medium distance run. And then once I get into the higher digit weeks, higher mileage weeks, Wednesday, Thursday will be also some split days where I've got a big-ish day on Wednesday and a somewhat less but still big day on Thursday to go out and train on tired legs. Anywho, then that brings me back around to Friday as my off day and actual full rest. So back on Monday, I took a fall. Sorry, I just fixed my glasses. And I can stop sharing for now. So yeah, I was just out for I was going to do a little over a mile run, 1.3 mile run, do some uphill running work, and want to go out in my trail shoes because it was raining, it was wet. I wanted to test out my Xero Shoes Mesa Trails in an actual, sorry for all the movement of the camera, testing out the Xero Shoes in the wet. I was hoping to actually go out in the rain, just take it easy, and that'd be enough of a run in itself. Got out there, it was after the rain stopped, it was still really wet, mushy, and so a lot of times if I'm out in my trail shoes, whether it's my new Xero Shoes, my old Las Sportivas Helios, which I really liked, I'll touch on those in a sec. But the Xero Shoes has a much more aggressive, not super aggressive, but it's more aggressive, more pronounced lugs on the bottom than my Las Sportivas did. They had and also I feel like in general, the Las Sportivas had a grippier compound on the bottom. They even note in their shoes, they've got, at least at the time when I last bought Las Sportivas, 3 different grips you could have on the bottom of your shoes. And mine's either the middle grippy one or the really grippy one. Either way, they work really well. Now, the one slight I've always had with Xero Shoes is when it comes to wet, slick surfaces like metal grates, metal sewer coverings, in general, they have a tendency to slip. It could be the sandals, my clouds, or I can't remember with the Hanas if they do it as much. I feel like they're getting better though. Like I just actually got a replacement pair of clouds and they have like another finish on the bottom in addition to what their normal grip is. Anyways, the Mesas, if you feel the bottom, it does feel like a pretty pretty grippy rubber. Say that 5 times fast. And really didn't think too much of it, but still knowing what I know, and you can read about it in the blog post I did a while back and have continued to update with my videos and whatnot as I continue to test out the Mesa Trails. That's always been kind of the one thing I've always kind of come back to is like, yeah, they could slip. So like knowing that, I knew even going into this run, I was like, there is the potential to slip. And I don't know if that was just me manifesting the slip or what, but like it happened. And it was just this weirdest thing. Like, and I even stick to the grass. Like I will run in the little grassy bit between the sidewalk and the road, or some people call it the nature strip for those in Australia and probably elsewhere in the world. And I like that because you get a little bit of like trail running in, even though you're in suburbia or in the neighborhood. But I mean, we have a nice park nearby. It has a loop and I can run the grass and, it's got it's got some elevation changes to it. So the plan was just work my way over there, come down a hill, and then run up the hill next to the park, run back, and there's do an out back, run back down, come back, no big deal. Well, was just going over to get to that first downhill and across the road, right foot, I was crossing at an angle where my left side was coming up to the curb. Right foot went down, and like I saw the curb, and I don't know if it was a misjudgment or what. That's the best thing I could probably chalk it up to. Foot went on it, left foot was coming over to then plant into the grass, and like it felt like someone had literally just pulled a rug out from under my feet. That's the best way I could describe it. It was like my right foot just went sliding right off the edge, and I was like, oh, I'm going down. Like, and it was, but luckily since it was so wet and mushy out, and I just went down like right on my left side. My right elbow kind of and forearm kind of caught part of it. Of course, I re-injured the part of my right hand that had already gotten dinged up a few weeks ago in a run, and kind of reopened that. But I literally just landed, my left foot hit kind of down flat, and then I just kind of went over on my side, and it was just covered in grass. And then I just kind of rolled on my back and was just laughing, because I was just like, if someone's watching this has to be hilarious. Like, I find this hilarious, but other people would probably be like, oh my gosh, you just fell. Are you all right? Anywho, nothing seemed out of whack. Like, I just kind of, I got up, brushed the grass and as much of the mud off of my side and arm, and I was more worried about my hand because it had opened up this little part that already scarred and scabbed over. And I was like, all right, I feel fine. I'm going to keep going. So I did, went off, did the run, came back. No big deal, rest of the day. It wasn't until the next day, I kind of made some notes so I at least have this right in my own mind. Tuesday, did some my resistance training. That seemed fine. We also planned to go ice skating. It was outdoors. We're all masked. We felt relatively safe with it all. I was kind of noticing my foot, but I was like, it's not enough to say like, no, I don't want to go. No, we can't go. And then when we got in the ice rink, it felt fine. My hip didn't feel too bad. At that point, it wasn't till yesterday when I was supposed to go out for my longest run of the week, and it's like downpouring rain. It's the coldest it's been here. It's high 30s Fahrenheit, which, oh man, my translating that to Celsius off the fly is, it's probably somewhere in the single digits. Just guesstimating. It's been a while since I've had to convert it. Anyways, I love inclement weather as long as it's safe. The only thing that will put me off is lightning, because I don't want to mess with lightning. I don't think anyone does. So I wasn't really worried about the rain and cold. Like, I can gear up for that. I can throw layers on. I can be happy and out there in the rain. But my foot, I'd really started noticing, and like even going up and down stairs, like, it's kind of twingy, putting weight on it and stuff like that. So I'd clearly sprained or strained something. And I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not a sports physician. It's not within my practice to diagnose and treat something. So I wasn't, I was trying one of those things of like trying not to self-diagnose myself, but at least have enough previous experience to know like, okay, this isn't horrible from what I've had in the past, but it's not great. So I was already leaning towards not going out because like, I don't want to make this worse. Like, it's possible I could run this, but I'm probably not going to make it any better. So best thing you can do is rest, which is exactly what I did. Just took the day off, did some other resistance training that didn't involve that as much. And I also started noticing my hip, but it's more just like dull soreness, which makes sense because I came down like right on that side. So, and I even double checked my running certification material, and they said, yeah, if it's sprain, strain, just rest, reassess, and come back later when it's ready to go. So I'm just going to give myself, and that was yesterday. So I'm here today, Thursday, a day earlier with videos because we've got some stuff tomorrow and likely won't be able to do this. So I wanted to jump in today and get it done and share all the fun updates going on this past week. And likely today I'm going to take the day off again today because it's actually been feeling a lot better through as the day has gone on. I had my daughter this morning. Now I'm working this afternoon, and it's tempting to go run it. I'm not going to lie, but I know for the better, don't go do it. So I'm just going to take it easy. I might do resistance training, might just take it as an off day. Cause even cross training, like I definitely don't want to go on the longboard. I'm a little hesitant to even get on a bike right now. So most I'd probably do is probably some resistance training that has to do with more upper body core. I did do some one-legged balance with arm lifts yesterday, and that seemed to be fine. It didn't really twinge it too bad. and again, that's why I probably put it out to anybody who's watching this and tuning in, is that if you've got an injury, you don't know, especially if it's like random and you can't explain it, get it checked out. I mean, at least, you know, if you can call into either an urgent care, physical therapist, sports physician, you can find, you know, go seek out that professional, and just, it's better to know what it is and get diagnosed and then have set steps from a medical professional going forward. I've been there before. I've had a random tendonitis show up my foot after, I think, one particular run years ago. And it was like so red and just like it was hard to walk on. And I was losing mobility. I was like, what is going on? And just went to urgent care. They took some scan, got it all. And it's just like, it's this, likely you need to do. And yeah, it got sorted. And I was like, awesome. I know what it is. I know how to move forward. I think in the end, I ended up missing a week or something like that of training, and then just kind of reassessed coming back into it. And this was years ago. So again, take it with a grain of salt, get things checked out, talk to your trusted professional that you know, or look up one in your area. Cause yeah, I do not recommend trying to train through that. I've been there. It's not fun. You just put yourself out at greater risk of getting injured even more, especially if you throw rain like yesterday. Yeah. Anyways. And the best thing is, once I do come back, I can use my own awesome guide. I know, a little bit of salesiness to, but I'm serious. Like, I've actually, if you haven't found it, I'll put a link below to the my free guide. Yes, it does require you to sign up for the newsletter, but I do not disappoint with my newsletters, if I do say so myself. It's packed with lots of info, what's going on with my life on a weekly basis. We release typically every Thursday. Sorry, I fixed my glasses a lot. And it just includes a little bit about myself, what I'm currently learning in my certification or towards my certification, anything else I've been learning with just my own studying, and my recommendation, which can be anything from like the music I'm listening to that week, or, you know, podcasts, or a new person to, you know, go out and check out and follow, like Hakim Tafari. I'm going to blank on his butcher's last name, but hey, sign up, because it's going to be in the newsletter that's going to go out later today after this video gets done. Anywho, I will link to that in my guide. Getting back to it, it does list out, you know, if you've missed, and it could be it covers, you know, holidays, sick, if you're out for sickness, illness, whatever. It covers if you've been out for so many days, what to then do with your training plan. This is assuming if you're going off an online guide, but it's stuff I would do for myself. Obviously, I would do for clients, depending on how many days I'm out or they're out. You can either come right back into your training plan and just pick up where you would have been anyways, you know, just foregoing those runs. Now, if you're out for longer periods, then you need to start looking into coming back easily, building back into the plan. If you're out for a really long time, then you just need to really reassess, like, okay, I just need to, you know, pick a new goal, pick a new time frame to accomplish the goal I want to be doing, and go from there. Because chances are that's such a, as I classes thought were a good idea for the video, but anyways, you really need to reassess your goal if you start missing so much time that you're just, you know, you're losing fitness at that point, and need to really work to get back into a good base and then build back into your goal. So anyways, it's in my guide. It's, if I share back out, I can show you real quick. So it is the section, what should I do if I have vacation, holidays, etc. coming up? This is on page 15. And it goes through some, you know, rules of thumb, like if you're on holiday, if you're on vacation, best things to do, you know, just getting your distance completed during your vacation is good. If you can get it done on trail, if you're training for a trail race, better. If you're doing it on trail that mimics your elevation change and terrain, that's the best. And it just gives other little awesome tidbits like that. But if you keep scrolling down, eventually it gets into, if you do miss some days, once you're back and ready to carry on with your training plan, you know, if it's 1 to 4 days missed, 5 to 8, 9 to 14, 14 plus days, 3 weeks or more missed, what to do and some guidelines to go with. Again, if you got questions, if you're working with a coach, talk to your coach. If you don't, you want to work with me, awesome. You know, feel free to reach out. Or if we're not working together, just feel free to shoot me an email. I can include that below as well, and we can chat, or leave a comment below. One way or the other. We'll get hooked up, and you can ask your questions away, and we'll go forward from there and what next steps are. It also covers illness as well. And then just regards to coming back with lower intensity, duration, etc. Assuming you've got, obviously the okay from a doctor and things like that. So head on out, follow the link. Again, it'll just require signing up for the newsletter, email, first name. You can throw your last name in there if you want. That just really helps more me customize the email to you and correlate names with emails so I get to know people who's actually on the email list as well. Because a lot of topics I'll come up with. My wife helps come up with stuff too. If you haven't noticed out on the site, she does a lot of my copywriting. So a lot of the blogs written by her, but I do a lot of the research coming up with topics, or we both do, etc. A lot of the newsletters I write, she'll write. But anyways, where I'm going with all this is I've loved a lot of the back and forth, a lot of the comments, the replies from people on the newsletter saying like, hey, this is great. I'm not making this up. And then they're like, hey, I like when you're talking about this. Can you talk more about that? I'm not going to name names, but if you were also following the blog, the recent post that went out about post big run, post race blues went out was actually a topic request from someone on the newsletter. So, I mean, it was great. It's very something that hits home to me because I've dealt with, you could read the blog and I also mentioned the newsletter, but I've dealt with depression on and off since I was a teenager. So, it's just, for me, it always comes in waves. I've been there with post race stuff. So anywho, you can check out the blog for more info or leave a comment or feel free to reach out other ways. If you want to chat more about that, interested in anything else I've talked about. And anywho, back to the training, which is what these videos are supposed to be about, but obviously I love a good tangent. Hopefully you do too. Anywho, other than that, been feeling great. Still excited for the goal, and it's so far out at this point anyways, and I was starting from such a low base level and then building from there, that I really did give myself a lot of leniency, a lot of leeway. And since I don't have a goal race, it is good and bad. It's a double-edged sword. It's good because then I'm not like freaking out that I'm gonna miss all this time. I'm trying to hit like a date. It's also bad because then like that date can just keep shifting, like but I don't really see that happening. I like it leaves openness. Like I said, I haven't looked into more where I want to do this run. Appalachian Trail, again, always keeps coming to mind. I think at this point I'm now trying to figure out, because I realized that Springer Mountain is not that far away. I want to say it's maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from where we're at in Greenville, South Carolina. And I'm like, ooh, I could do a 100-mile section from the very beginning in the south and go north. There's also a couple other places that are similar time frame to drive to, and could do a 100-mile section in that. It's just what I've been finding, and I need to cross-reference because I know there's a proper trail. The Appalachian Trail, is it through the National Park System or not? There's like an actual website that has a really good map on it. I haven't cross-referenced that to see if it has like a mapping tool on it, because right now I've kind of been just poking around in Google Maps, and sometimes that gets a little hokey when you're trying to be like, no, jump over to the trail, stop trying to cut it cut the trail off, stick to just the Appalachian Trail and not try and like cut through a neighborhood, things like that. I also have maps.me app on my phone. I cross-reference as well. Anywho, so obviously you can tell I'm still excited to do this and looking forward to it. And once I'm ready to come back from running, likely I'll do another update video next week. If I feel so inclined, maybe something in between. We'll see how it goes. And hopefully good news. Hopefully I'll be back running again. Just checking back through my I notes if there's anything of note to note in the video. And just see what happens once I'm back ready to rock and roll again. Check out the free guide below. Love to have you on the newsletter. I think you really get some benefit from it if you're digging on these videos. You just love some good nerdy running info. I should also note that my certification is like heavily backed in science. So that's kind of where I like to go, as well as I like to go at the nih.org, or nih.gov. I should know this. Anyways, and really kind of dig in, get to the source of like, where is the information coming from? Why is it this way? What's this recommendation? And that's why I go out to, these government websites to go find the actual studies, because then I can read it firsthand and not get, biased one way or the other, or discern. And there are good websites out there. I'll speak for ours as well. But I also know like it's coming from that certification that I'm working towards that's going to be based in science as well. Anywho, excited to go. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Let me know below one or the other if you'd like to hear anything in particular, what you're digging on, what you're not. And we'll go from there. Happy running. Till next week.